Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So today we are going to discuss, this is our first lesson. Today we are going to discuss about computer science, paper two for IGCSE. The code for this syllabus is 0478. So we're going to cover in this lecture, we are trying to cover paper 2 for IGCSE. Okay, so the topic that we're gonna cover today is the overall structure of the syllabus. Okay, the questions and start discussions about algorithm. Okay. First of all, that we have to know is paper 2, what are the topics that need to be learned to tackle paper 2? We have to have clear idea about programming statements. So currently, you can write programs using pseudocode. You can learn using by Python or any other programming languages. So in this course, I will teach you how to do using pseudocode because um, it's easy to understand, have less what is that called, less syntax. Okay, and the main advantage is 75 marks you have to cover in 1 hour 45 minutes. And in the exam time we don't have any computer to check our syntax errors or the logical errors. So pseudocode is the fastest method to answer all this 1 hour 45 minutes. Within kind of like 90 minutes, you can cover all the questions, and 15 minutes is for the revision purpose. Okay, so you can convert this pseudocode, the pseudocode that we're going to learn in this course. You can use this pseudocode and you can convert them into programming languages easily, because in pseudocode we will learn how to build up logic, how to use the operators, how to use the variable and arrays, how to use operators, okay, how to solve some mathematical problems using pseudocode, so the programming logics, okay. So ultimately, it's almost, if you learn how to write a program using pseudocode, you can able to tackle these problems, or you can write these problems using Python also. Okay, so let's start. So the first thing that we're going to learn is what we have in our syllabus. So basically, you have to have idea about variables, constants, and um, loops. Okay, arrays. Let's say 1D and 2D. String operation. String operation. Database. Logic circuits. Okay, now the total mark is 75. So we can segregate this 75 into 3 parts. One is the programming questions, which are related to the algorithm, database, and logic circuit. Mostly this will cover 50 to 55 marks. This will cover 10 marks, 8 to 10 marks. This covers also 8 to 10 marks. Okay, so you can understand that the most important part is the programming that we have to learn thoroughly, okay, to achieve a good grade. So let's start. What does it mean by programming? Yeah, as you know that programming helps us to solve a problem using a programming language, okay? It can solve a mathematical problem, and it will convert that mathematical problem, like we convert it into pieces like variables, constant, we add operators. Like a mathematical problem, you express it in a programming language. It's called an high-level language. That high-level language converts into machine level through a compiler or an interpreter, and using the assembly language or machine language, whatever it is, it cook it and display you the result so that we can understand. Okay, so why do we use program? We use program because if your code is neat and clean, there is no way uh, chance of error. Okay, and it can do work for multiple times, many times as you require it. Okay, it will not get itself tired and many more advantages, right? So using the programming languages, okay, using the programming, you can develop websites, you can develop softwares, right? And many other stuff, okay? Yeah. So let's just start with the first topic, okay? What is a variable? So a variable holds a value. For example, a radius, that's 4 meters. So this 4 meters saved in a variable called radius. It might change over time. Okay, so for example, you are calculating the radius of a circle. You are calculating the area of a circle. What is that? Area of a circle is pi into radius into radius. So this radius, basically variable holds a value over time, and that might change over time because it depends on the user. Depends on user. So the radius for a particular user might be different for the radius for another user, right? So that's why it might change over the time. Okay, so you are calculating, for example, first circle is this much. So this is the radius, for example, 1 meter. Another circle is bigger one. It have a radius of 2 meters. So it might change over time, okay? So what is the definition of variable? A variable holds a value, okay, that might change over time. And this variable, mostly user, is the one who will input to the system. Okay, we have to have clear understanding about two things here. When you're writing a program, you are the programmer, okay? You are the programmer and you are writing program for the users. So programmer will not give input unless it is a constant things. Okay, we will learn, moving forward, we'll learn what things that programmer should input. And users normally, for example, you ask a user, or you are calculating the average height of your class of the students. So user have to is the one who is giving input for each student, right? Okay, so this is the thing of this is the definition of high level definition of variables. Next one is constant. So constant holds a value also, holds a value, and it doesn't change over time. Change over time. So, for example, if we calculate this one, so area of a circle is pi multiplied by r multiplied by r. So here you can see the radius of a circle is a variable and pi is a constant, right? So we'll give here 3.142. If the radius of a circle is 4, then it will multiply together and we'll get the result of pi of area. Now, how we convert this mathematical expression into programming language, right? So we have to write here input r. And before that, as we know that pi is a constant, it's a common to the people. So the value of pi is 142. So this is user defined it. Yeah, sorry, a programmer defined it, because programmer doesn't want to, doesn't need to ask the user, please input the value of pi, right? And input r is for the user. So this program, to calculate the name of the program is calculate the area of a circle. So the question can be like, write a program to calculate the area of a circle where the value of pi is kind of 3.142, and ask the user to give the input for the radius. So this is the way we can do. So this is a programmer defined. This is a user defined. User have to give the value. So once you have the the value for both of the constant and variable, then we can write here area equals to pi multiplied by r into r. So whatever the values are given for the radius, it will multiply twice, and then it will multiply with pi, the value of pi. Then the value, finally the area is also a variable, but we are calculating the value for area, okay? So whatever the value is calculated, finally it will be stored at A, okay? Inside A. So A holds the area of a circle. So it can be changed also. That depends on because it have a dependency on the radius. So finally, we will just print the value of A. We can write the area of the circle is, you can give here double quotation. So this is the user defined. A programmer can write any expression here. You can write the area only. You can write the area of a circle. You can write the area of the given circle with a radius of 4 meters or whatever it is. You can write inside this double quotation, you can write your own expression. It should be ended with a comma. And then the variable here, A. So here you define the variable name A, so it should be here A also, okay? You cannot change it. If you write area, for example, so for you, for us as a human, for us A and area has the same meaning, but for a computer, it will not understand, okay? It will say that the variable you declare, that their definition are not same, okay? So you have to be careful when you, even you cannot change the case of the variable, okay? If it is a capital A, you have to use a capital A. If it is small a, you have to use a small a. So that's the definition of a small example, definition of variable and constant using using a constant and variable, and we show you how to write a program. Okay. Next one is operator. We have to have very good idea about operator. Okay, so there are two types of operator we have for your IGCSE syllabus. One is your logical operator, and another is arithmetic operator. Okay, so logical operators are, we will see first arithmetic operators, which are common: plus, you know, that addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, and we have another one, which is called this one, which is called modulus or mod, not percentage. Okay, modulus or mod. And logical operators less than, greater than, less than, greater than, or equals to, less than or equals to, not equals to, not equals to, we can write in this way also. Yeah. And these are the most commonly used logical operators. We use AND, we use OR. Okay. So operators, why we need operators? Of course, as you know that programming languages, expressions, we have to, whenever we write any mathematical logic, we need to use the operators properly, so that based on the operator, the operands can work. What does it mean? For example, if you write A equals to B plus C, so this plus, okay, this plus is an operator, B is an operand, and C is an operand. So every operator should have a left hand and the right hand. So, and they have, the operators have a dependency on the operands. If you write A equals to plus B, so it's meaningless for computer, right? There is a meaning, but simply for an user, he'll not understand that A equals to plus B. What does it mean, right? Okay, so we have to have a two operands for each operator. Okay, so what is the use of it? As you can understand, logical operator, it will help you. A greater than means A greater than B. So we can ask if A is greater than B, something like that. Or if A less than B, then I'll do something. If A is greater than or equals to B, I will do something. If A is less than or equals to B, I will do something. If A not equals to B, I will do something. If A and A equals to 5 and B equals to 10, then I will do something. If A equals to 5 or B equals to 10, then I will do something, right? So as you can see that the logical operators always use a condition called if. If, that means where you are taking the decision. Good. So there's the logical operators are basically plus you know that for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Modulus operator, there is a relationship between the modulus operator and the division operator. So modulus operator is focusing on the remainder. For example, we can use a modulus operator. For example, write a program. For example, write a program to input a number. Write a program to input a number and print it is odd or even, right? Write a program. I'm sorry for my handwriting. Anyway, write a program to input a number and print it is an odd or even. So odd or even. So we need to prove that the number is odd and even. Normally, if you ask a human, okay, tell me 5 is an odd or even number, we can easily say. But for computer, it will not understand that 5 is an odd or even unless you give a logic behind it, right? So this is the place where we come to a logic. Like, for example, if the number is divided by 2, okay, if the number is divided by 2 and remainder is 1, that means it's an odd number. And if the number divided by 2 and the remainder is 0, that means it's an even number, right? That's the logic behind it. Now, how to write this calculation, this mathematical model into programming model, into an expression, right? Into the way a computer can understand. So we have to use computer syntax, programming language syntax, so that it can be understood. Now, here we go. For example, we know that division operator, 5 divided by 2, but here it will not work, okay? Because we are focusing on because division is focusing on the quotient, okay? So, but my focus is here, okay? So in that case, we have to use the modulus operator so that I can focus here, okay? That means if the number mod by 2 Okay, and result is equals to 1. That means it's an odd number, right? Or if the number mod by 2 and result is here, then that means 0. That means it's an even. Good. So that's the use of the modulus operator. So modulus operator will focus on the remainder, and we use it for many things. Okay, it's a very good operator. It have a lot of application for your syllabus. So write a program to input a number and print it. It is odd or even. So there are many ways you can do it. So first of all, you have to input a number. So you have to tell user, because I have to have dependency as a programmer. You have to have a dependency on the user, because the user is the one who will input the number. So input a number, okay? A number means one number. Input the number. Good. Now we're gonna use the if clause. If the number that I input, that the user input, whatever it is, mod by 2 and result is 0, then I will say print the number is even. Okay, else print. So there is only two cause here, right? There is only two option. Either the number will be even or odd. So you can write here if else also, but as there is only two option, that means if the number is even, then even. But if the number is not even, that means the result is not 0. That means there is no other option except the number should be odd. So we can write here print the number is odd. I'm sorry again for my handwriting, but you understand what I mean to say. So that's this is an example how can we use modulus operator to take a decision whereas the number is odd or a number is even. Super. So next, the thing that we're going to learn here is, okay, we're going to learn about, so we learn about the operators, we learn about the variables, we learn about the constant. Next, we are going to learn about the what is that called? Called if then else law. If then else, which is called conditional loop. Conditional loop, right? Okay, okay, if, what does it mean by if? If, after if, what is the syntax here? Syntax means how you have to write if then else, or how to use if then else. So if, here is you have to put the condition. Normally condition means logical conditions, as I explained you before. If condition, then statement 1. What does it mean by statement? Statement means you can use like a print, like the way before we have done. If the number mod by 2 and result is 0. A statement means here print is, or you can write a statement or expression, okay? Any sentence in programming language, we can call them expression. The expression 1. Else if you have only two conditions, you can use only else. Expression 2. This is single if then else. And if you have multiple if then else, for example, if condition 1, then expression 1. Else if condition 2, then expression 2. Like this way. Else if condition n expression n. And finally, you can close it by else expression n plus 1. Good. So you can use multiple conditions if you depend on the question. Okay, you have to read the question and take your decision. So single if then else, I have explained you already how to find a number is odd or even. So now, for example, you have a question like input a number, input a mark, and print the grade, input a mark and print the grade based on below. Okay, for example, above 90, okay, is A star, greater than or equals to 80 and less than or equals to 90 is A, greater than or equals to 70, greater than 70 and less than or equals to 80 is B, greater than or equals to, for example, 60 and less than or equals to 70 is C. Likewise, less than 60, for example, greater than 60, sorry, less than or equals to 60 is fail. Good. So you can see here, you have to take multiple decision, right? So in this case, how are we going to do? So again, I will ask the user, can you please input your mark? So he'll input his mark, input mark. So now if the mark is greater than or equals to, or greater than or equals to 91, for example, then print a star. Okay, else if you can write congratulations, you got a star. Up to you. Inside the double quotation, as I told you before, you can write whatever you want. Then else if mark greater than or equals to 81 and okay, you have to remember must mark be and means must be. Both conditions should be true. It must be more than or 81. Also at the same time, it must be less than or equals to 90. Then print A. Okay, so likewise, you have to continue till you fail. And finally, the fail, you write else. That means you didn't get A star, you didn't get A, you didn't get B, you didn't get C. Else, that means what is the option is left. We can write print. Maybe he didn't come to for the exam, absent or you can write his fail. That's it. So this is the way how we can do if then else single statement, if then else multiple statement. Good. Thank you very much for today. We will continue our next session in the next class. Thank you very much for watching.